Let's try that. Season 1 of episode 1, The Matrix. Let's see if we get some footage here. We got some footage. We just had some technical difficulties. We started talking about Keanu Reeves and how damn hot he is right now. That Keanu. So hot right now. Anyways. Yeah, it's up. So anyways, guys, we're talking about The Matrix. Why are we really talking about The Matrix? Why the first episode are you talking about The Matrix? Like, are you a Matrix lover? No. You got any Matrix toys? I actually looked. I don't. Do you have anything swag with The Matrix? No. Do you own the movie? I don't. So why is The Matrix the first thing that we're going to talk about? Honestly, just because it's fresh, because I have one of my employees, his name's Justin, and he says, hey, you know, my girlfriend said that she hadn't seen The Matrix. And I was like, ooh, wow, that's pretty crazy, right? And he's like, yeah. So we watched it, and she said it was pretty good. I was like, yeah, it is pretty good. It got me to thinking, right? There's a lot of people out there who haven't seen Star Wars, haven't seen a single Star Wars movie. Now, if they went and watched Star Wars, they'd probably say that was trash. I'm glad I didn't waste my time with that, and now I kind of want my time back, because whoever made me watch that, probably not a real friend. But with The Matrix, it's different. The first Matrix is really good, right? It's really good. There's a lot of cool stuff. Every time I watch that movie, I'm like, oh, that's some pretty cool stuff. I don't know if they were on some drugs, or they probably weren't, but they probably were. Let's hope that they were, but they probably weren't. But yeah, it was a good movie. So I was like, how do you go about not seeing that and then see it? It's 2019 and you're seeing it. Question is, do you go watch the sequels, right? Because the sequels, they're not as great as the first one. Let's all be real here. We can all be real here. Those sequels, The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revelations, it's not as good as The Matrix. The Matrix is timeless. Stand alone. The Matrix 2 and The Matrix 3 are really heady. Now, I can dive into that, and we'll dive into that. We'll dive into the whole, is Agent Smith the one? I think he is. We're going to dive into it. There's an argument for both sides, so it's a fun theory to kind of play around with. The second and third movies, I feel, the only reason that those movies should exist is to elaborate on that theory. If The Matrix 1 was a standalone film, then absolutely, Neo is the one. He is the one. I mean, his name's Neo, okay? But once the second movie and the third movie comes out, kind of muddies it up. I mean, is he the one? Is his name even really Neo? Shoot, it might be Anderson. So, we got to think about these things, and we're going to talk about them. So, I guess we talk about the theory of I think, as well as others. I mean, I don't know if, it's definitely not my thought. I think I read it first, and then I read a bunch about it, and I was like, yeah, that all makes sense. And then I watched the movies, and I picked a couple more pieces. I was like, okay, that elaborates on that. In my mind, it's all but concrete, but some people are like, kind of on the fence on it, right? So Agent Smith is, in my mind, the one, right? It's not Neo. It's not Neo, even though Neo is pretty cool. But let's go down all the things about Agent Smith, right? Agent Smith, in the first movie, Agent Smith is already going rogue. You know that, like, when he's unjacked and he's talking to Morpheus and he's like, yo, I want out of this place. I hate this place. You know what I mean? I've been here since all these, I hate you, I hate everything. I want out, right? And he's got his little earpiece out. It's representing that he wants out. He wants out of his system. Like the humans want out of their system. He wants out of his system. And that's in the first movie. Now, Neo has abilities, but they aren't really, like, amazing. Not that I'd say. I mean, he's not a special human. It said that, hey, he had to go through that whole muscle thing because he was like a clone baby and he never even really uses his muscles. So there's nothing special there. He didn't even make the jump the first time. Come on, dude. Let me ask you guys a question. And this is a real question, okay? We all saw Neo. Did he make the jump the first time? Absolutely not. Did Agent Smith make that jump the first time? I bet you that program made that Smith, he made that jump. You know what I mean? I bet you he did. Agent Smith is killed at the end of the first movie. Now, he's killed by Neo. And like I said, if it was only one movie, Neo flies away, dude. Like Superman, like takes off at the end of the first movie. So he's pretty powerful. You could come to the conclusion that he truly is the one. But once the second movie comes, and Agent Smith, voila, is back, it twists things, right? Is he truly the one? Well, now Agent Smith has come back from the dead. You had deleted him and you killed him, yet here he is. He's back. Almost like Neo. How did he come back from the dead? Didn't really know. He was just kind of there. Now you could have the argument of like, well, that's the cause and effect of the Matrix. That he is the antithesis to Neo. He has to exist. But I would argue that he is a program. He wants out. He was killed at the end of the first Matrix. He came back even more powerful. He did things that Neo could never do. I mean, he was replicating himself and doing all kinds of weird Agent Smith stuff that I think we all wish we could do. I didn't see Neo ever make a clone of himself, right? And you're like, well, even Neo the One in the third movie had the ability to stop those squid-like things, which we'll get into that, those machines. We'll go through all the machine war here in a second, but even he had the ability to stop those machines in the real world. Well, I'd argue that it wasn't the real world, that's just the second Matrix, created by the machines. And also, Agent Smith was able to go into that quote-unquote real world in the body of Bane. So, they're still equal there. The kicker is, though, is in the finale, when they're battling, he loses. Agent Smith wins. The kicker is that Neo's body is jacked into the source. Now, if the One's point was to go to the source, Neo is already jacked into the source. It's already done. It's not until Agent Smith takes over Neo's body, and in doing so, jacks himself into the source. Voila, bringing the anomaly to the source, restarting everything. Cool, fantastic. Agent Smith is the one. Now there's arguments to say, well, about Trinity. Trinity was told she'd fall in love with the one. Trinity, what about Trinity? I mean, who is the hottest girl in the whole Matrix trilogy? Trinity, and Trinity. Because goddamn that ass in them pants. I mean, seriously, go watch the first Matrix movie. But Trinity falling in love with Neo was actually told by the Oracle. It wasn't like the Oracle's been 100% honest. I mean, how many things have we heard be told from the Oracle that were actually true? And it wasn't just the Oracle playing with someone's psyche, because that's why the Oracle is created, to understand the human psyche and give them a choice. Merovingian, cause effect, Oracle, choice. That's why they hated each other. So, you know, that's all bullshit. Who cares what the Oracle told you? The Oracle gonna tell you whatever she gonna have to tell you to know that she knows what you gonna do to manipulate you, a la the cookies on the plate. You know what I mean? She's just gonna tell you whatever she gotta tell you to move your ball forward, right? That's the Oracle, dude. God bless her heart. So I mean, Agent Smith. I mean, I think Agent Smith is the one. Neo isn't even that cool. His trench coat was pretty cool, but they all had trench coats. You know what I mean? Morpheus, the Zion world is the second Matrix. It was created. There's multiple matrices. The first Matrix was the Paradise Matrix, and let's be honest right now. They're making this Matrix 4. They're talking about making the Matrix 4. You know what they need to do is make a movie not called The Matrix, but let us be surprised that it's a Matrix movie. Create a movie about a perfect world. A perfect world where everyone starts realizing that this perfection is a replication, it's fake. And at the end, it all collapses on itself. And then, wow, we found out that movie that we just watched is actually the first Matrix, the beta Matrix. That'd be pretty sweet. The Smith? Hey, B, dude, you might be like Agent Smith, man. Yeah, I was going through some Matrix stuff. I was like, you know there's no blue in the Matrix? I didn't know that until today. Weird fact. I mean, I knew some weird facts about the Matrix, but strange fact that they don't show the color blue in any scene where they're in the Matrix ever, in any of the movies. Didn't know that. I know that they put the green filter over the Matrix scenes, and when you're watching the Matrix, you're gonna see this green sheen, right? Most people know that, right? That's the Matrix. When they're outside of that green sheen is gone, but at least my brain didn't register it, that when they're in the training dojo with Morpheus and Neo, is yellow. It's actually a yellow light because they're in neither. It's an ultra yellow light. That's pretty cool. I didn't pick up on that, but do you know that Keanu Reeves only has 80 lines? The first 50 minutes of the movie, he only speaks 80 lines. What is this? And of those 80 lines, 44 of those lines are questions. More than half of his lines are questions. He's really just a character to just kind of propel the story. That was an interesting fact. See here. Let's see, Matrix 4. Who working on this Matrix 4? Stunt coordinator. Several films by Wachowski's. Wachowski's being involved in a new Matrix film. Clarifications, hypothetically, June 2019, unconfirmed reports. Oh, here it is. Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss reprising their roles. That's another thing I love seeing. I love seeing that original actors are going to reprise their roles. Now, when you go and look right now and see Matrix 4 and the original characters reprising their roles, you probably see a picture of Lawrence Fishburne, and you probably see a picture of Keanu Reeves, and then you'll see a cutout Carrie Fisher. Carrie-Anne Moss Fisher. I always call her Carrie Fisher because Carrie, and you think about Princess Leia, right? Typically. But yeah, she cut out. But that's the man versus woman world. But I always think it's funny. I point out to my wife, I'm like, hey, what's wrong with this picture when it says that these three people are re-signed on, and the actual picture of it is the original Matrix 3 guys together, and it's cut, so it's only showing Lawrence Fishburne and Keanu Reeves. I'm like, there you go. Let's see, Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne, display. Cloud Atlas? I never watched Cloud Atlas. I probably should, because Wachowski's got a weird head. But I never watched Cloud Atlas. Let's see here. Characters, Niobe. Oh, Jada Pinkett Smith? She coming back? It's Niobe? I mean, she's aight, I guess. Like I said, the second and third movies aren't that great unless you look at them from the lens of the only reason they decided to do them. And remember, when those movies came out, they were released typically I think they were 4 or 5 months in between themselves. You were watching the trailer for the next movie at Reloaded. I'm sitting in the theaters for Matrix Reloaded, and they showed me the trailers for Matrix Revelations. No shit, I am not lying. I swear to you they were doing that. I was like, what is this? I haven't even seen this movie. You already showed me the trailer for the next movie. Crazy. But, let's see here. Those movies, they only exist to show that Smith is the one. The first movie, seen by itself, Neo's the one. You watch number 2 and number 3, it really actually represents that the anomaly, the one, is actually Agent Smith. Even that crusty architect guy in that white room, that sterile room, he got them catheters and stuff all hooked up. He even said, yo, dude, we've done this before. We're gonna do it again. I see you all the time, boy. All the time I see you. How many times do you think Agent Smith was in that room with the architect? How many times? That's right. Go to bed thinking about that one. Let's see here. Involvement, response, crew members include Grant Hill, Cares, Cloud Atlas, again, Jupiter Ascending. That was kind of a lame movie. I mean, it had all the makings of an okay movie. Maybe not, actually. I think I remember watching that. I was like, yeah, it's kind of lame. But we'll see. Let's see here. The Machine War. I mean, that all came in the Animatrix. If you guys haven't seen the Animatrix, the Animatrix is actually pretty cool. Some of it is pretty cool. Some of it's just kind of like, yeah, it's just anime sword fighting, right? So you got Professor. Yeah, dude, we talking about the Matrix here, dude. We're talking about the Machine War right now, though. We're talking about the machines, right? Which we learn about in the Animatrix, but basically how they turned us into batteries. How, like, I mean, from my basic knowledge and understanding, now I got it all right here, but I'm not about to read you guys the Bible, okay? But my basic understanding was that there's kind of like the movie I, Robot. There's robots that are created to help us. They're helper bots. And one of the helper bots in self-defense kills his master. There's a court hearing, and the robot is declared murder and put to death. And when that's put to death, it starts basically like these robot wars, these riots. They go back and forth and back and forth, eventually leading the humans to basically be like, hey, like, we're losing, and the only way that we're going to win is, like, to take their power source, so why don't we block the sun, right? And so they block the sun out, and then that starts to work, but from there I was like, okay, and then they create the human batteries, right? We block the sun out, and so they need a power source, and where are they going to get the power source? They're going to get the power source from humans. But I was actually reading in here, I was going through this history, that the machines, this is crazy actually, the machines actually didn't know how to do that. That there was an actual alliance between the machines and a sect of humans at that time. And the sect of humans felt bad for these machines and allowed them to use their bodies as power sources. When that happened, the other machines were like, hey, dude, create a campaign, put these humans in prisons, create machines to enslave them, battery operate these guys. And it started with prisoners, and then it just grew from there, which I didn't know. I'm trying to actually find like that. It's right in here. I was like, oh, wow, I've never read about that one. It's really interesting. I mean, they're talking about human-powered artillery here. Human battery artillery guns. What universe is so cool to have human-powered artillery batteries? Pretty badass. Show me that movie, okay? Show me that movie. Show me the Machine War, where we block out the sun, and then the robots who looking like humans are like, yo, we gotta evolve, and we're gonna go into this squid-like kind of look. We're gonna start plucking people's babies up and battery operating them. And then we got battery operated. Look at this. No longer in humanoid form, appearing more like insectoid sentinels, overrunning human armies.
destruction of original man-made robots at the hand of United Nations affiliated human forces. Okay? I don't know what any of it means, but it sounds provocative. You know what I mean? And I want to see it. I want to see it. Now, I've seen it in the cartoon. The cartoon's pretty cool. That one is actually pretty cool about the machine renaissance. But then we go forward. We talk about what machines. Armies took heavy losses. They were forced into root out, dug out human blood underground. Underground battles. We are to underground battles. Anytime that there's battle happening underground, that's real battle. Okay? Underground battles, armies of 0-1 eventually unleashed lethal biological weapons, which further ravage the rest of humanity, whom by then have grown weary, tired, and incapable of continuing the war, and promptly surrender despite the United Nations' demand for the war to continue. Okay? Humans are a bunch of wussies, okay? They couldn't handle biological warfare, and robots can. Apples and oranges, you know what I mean? One of the last human bastions left on the surface of Earth, the UN headquarters in New York City. The machines, having won, turn to the defeated humans and begin repurposing the bioelectric, chemical, and kinetic energy of the human batteries as the major energy source of the machine society alongside nuclear fission. Nuclear fusion. Interesting. It says the machines are actually more capable of generating power from alternate power sources. The collective sedation of humankind was the final act of mercy to keep the humans down without outright destroying them. Keeping the prisoners sedated, the machines create the computer-generated virtual reality of the Matrix by feeding the virtual world into the prisoners' brains, starting with the first prototype Matrix, and presumably erasing the memories of the former lives. Presumably, we don't know. But that's interesting. As an act of mercy, they created the batteries. It actually says right here that they could easily have powered themselves through nuclear fusion. But they decided that this final act of mercy was to sedate us and imprison us in the Matrix. Truly amazing. It says the first Matrix, the Paradise Matrix. And this is what I was talking about, that Paradise Matrix. This would be a cool movie. Almost like a Truman Show. Like, show us this weird, show kind of like that, where everything is just perfect. And then, like, it slowly starts deteriorating around this family or these people. They just kind of start, like, what's going on? It'd be super interesting. Yo, what's up, Red? How's it going, man? So, the first Matrix being the Paradise Matrix. Says the first Matrix, Paradise Matrix, was designed to be the perfect human world where none would suffer and everyone would be happy. It was designed as a utopian realm where one's desires, namely the mind connected to it, would manifest. However, human minds did not accept this construct, and the scores of humans rejected the program. A la the perfect world. But what's really cool about this is if you're watching the first Matrix or recently watched the first Matrix, this is what's happening to Cypher. Is Cypher really evil? Cypher's mind couldn't accept. Like, Cypher is a perfect example of a human being whose mind couldn't be warped into a Matrix simulation. Because we find out in the second and third Matrix that Zion, the real world, is actually just another Matrix. It was another Matrix created for those who couldn't accept the Matrix. They had to have the choice, and the choice is an illusion, but the choice is I get to pull myself out into the real world, which is another Matrix. Cypher is one of the only few people right in the beginning that understands this. How many people in this Matrix universe ratted Zion out, went to the agents, and brokered a deal with the agents to sell out Zion? I would argue it's never happened because Zion's been restarted so many times
right? The architect has said, "Hey, Neo, this ain't the first time. I think they said that they've done it 6 or 7 times already. We do this, right? So this is, if you're looking at it like that, it's one of the first times, right, that someone's trying to broker this deal with these agents, and it's because his mind couldn't accept either of the matrices. It's the first matrix problem that the human brain just couldn't do it. It's interesting. Their perfect matrix and that they assume was perfect wasn't actually perfect because Cypher couldn't take either of them. It says that the second matrix is actually called the Nightmare Matrix, where they actually put in a cause and effect and brought us more to an 18th century, like old school style, and that the Merovingian, and I don't know much about the Merovingian. I try to like be like, okay, who the Merovingian? What? Who is that? I don't know. Some Frenchman, but the way they describe the Merovingian is that the Merovingian is actually like the operating system of the second matrix. That the second matrix is the Merovingian, and the Merovingian was almost like the first oracle. He ran the entire matrix and he knew everything about it because the entire matrix, the Linux, the Microsoft, the whatever you want to call it, was the Merovingian. There are some theories out there that the Merovingian was actually a previous one. It's all bullshit. It all comes from that his girlfriend saying, hey, you know, he used to be like you, and he was really saying, you know, he used to be driven and well intent. He's a little bit more corrupted now, and that's also when she kind of like turned on him. So you got to take it for what it is, and she's saying right there. But the Merovingian was the second operating system, the second matrix. And then the third matrix is the matrix we have, which is the one that's current. It operates, it's what, circa 1990 to 2025. It's just before the creation of machines. So they put us there. Apparently 99% of all humans will accept this program. And the 1% that does not accept the program is allowed to quote unquote go free, red pill, and go to Zion. When Zion gets too big, they go and flush it out and restart the system. The problem is the second Zion is actually another matrix. Just no one told Morpheus. Everyone told Morpheus that the first matrix was not real, so he was adamant to get people out of it, but no one told Morpheus that the real world that he thought was real was actually fake. No one gave Morpheus the Morpheus speech. No one sat Morpheus down and said, hey bro, the real world you living in, son? Not real either. Get off your high horse, chump. So let's see here. Let's talk about Matrix games. We can talk about the Matrix video games. How many Matrix video games were there? Let's see. There was Enter the Matrix. Enter the Matrix was super cool. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't remember much about it other than it was the first time we got to play the Matrix. You didn't get to play as Neo. You were Niobe or Ghost. Maybe it was Ghost. And I think you played as either one of those characters and you played through that game, and if I remember, it was okay. I remember at the end, I think there was like a sewer shark chase where you're going through the sewers in the ship with the squids chasing you. And I think it was okay. The Path of Neo came out after that, and I think the Path of Neo, if I remember right, was pretty badass. I actually think the Path of Neo was really good, if I remember right. I remember being able to pick up swords and do a lot of cool moves and a lot of cool tricks. And you got to play as Neo through the whole thing. And if I remember right, you played through basically like the movies, all 3 of them. That was a really good movie game. Actually, I should write that down. Play Path of Neo. We're gonna write that one down. We're gonna have to stream myself playing that. Path of Neo. That was a fun one. And then there was an online Matrix game. Matrix Online. AB, you never played any of them? I think there's only the 3. There's Enter Matrix, which was original Xbox and PS2. And then there's the Matrix, the Path of Neo, which was for computer and PlayStation 2. And I would assume Xbox, but it wasn't a PS3 game. And then there's the Matrix Online, which I never played the Matrix Online. I never played the Matrix Online. From what I hear, Morpheus dies in the Matrix Online, and you're some dude in the Matrix. Sounds kind of lame to me. It's not my cup of tea. Now the Path of Neo though, and if I remember right, at the end of the Path of Neo, they changed it. Like they actually changed it where like they broke the fourth wall, and the directors, the Wachowski brothers, because the Wachowski brothers, and at the time they still brothers. This is before they go he she, or he turned to she. You know what I'm saying? That they broke the fourth wall, and I remember them sitting in a chair and basically being like, hey, like, our movie's awesome, but like the whole Jesus thing of sacrifice doesn't work in video games, and like that ending would suck in a video game, so basically we just made a super big Agent Smith and a super big you, and basically it's like Hulk versus Galactus, have a good time beating each other up. And then like you beat up a big Smith, and then it plays was it Freddie Mercury's God, who was it? Who Wants to Be a Champion, or something like that. Some crazy song. You're like, what the hell? It's crazy. Yeah, I do remember the Path of One. That was really good. So right. So then thinking about all this, you're like, okay, well then what's Matrix 4 gonna be like? Right? And you got to think, what is Matrix 4 gonna be like with old Keanu Reeves, old Lawrence Fishburne, and old Carrie? I'm like, honestly, you can have so... Is it a sequel? I don't know. It's weird. I guess the Oracle did say that we would see the one again. That was the last thing she said, if I remember right. She's a crusty old bat. I think the Oracle is always up to no good, dude. The Oracle is nothing but a string puller. Pulling her strings, stringing her way along. AB's over here saying he's never even played a single damn Matrix game. Did you guys know that the shootout in the lobby in the first Matrix is not CG? That there's no CGI in that shot, and that it took them 10 days to shoot that thing, and it's all practical. That if they were to do that today, that there is just absolutely no way that they would do that. They would just use all CGI. Games based on movies usually do not turn out good. I would say that the Path of Neo is fantastic. That game was really fantastic. I'm gonna have to go and play that just to show you that game. And we're getting a little off beat when we're going off the Matrix, but AB over here, he's saying some movie video games and tie-ins, they don't really work out very well. Most of the time. I think Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay, god damn, that game's badass. They should remake that game again. I think they remade it for the 360. Remake it again. That game is sick. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I guess you're right, AB. I guess you're right. So I guess if I was to watch a new Matrix movie, it would be cool to see a movie about the first Matrix, the perfect Matrix. And you're allowed to have a Neo and a Morpheus and all them in this weird world that ends up collapsing. The end of the movie is that there has to be a collapse and a revelation. A revolt of the people. The people gotta get up and get all angry, and then when they do, it shows all the machines plucking people out and putting them in the new one, and then that's the end of the movie. And you're like, wow! I just watched some Matrix movie, and I didn't even know. I thought I was watching like Pleasantville 2. I was waiting for Tobey Maguire to pop out the closet. Who doesn't like a cliffhanger? What do you mean, AB? Cliffhanger? I know. That's it. It'd be as simple as that. So, Matrix, man. First time I remember going and seeing The Matrix as a boy. I didn't want to see the movie. I actually remember my mom was just like, hey, we're going to see the movies, and ain't nothing out. I probably wanted to see, I was in, what, Toy Story or something? I don't know. You got Toy Story? I didn't want to see The Matrix. Who wants to see The Matrix? I didn't want to see The Matrix. And then I went and saw The Matrix. Like, yo, we gotta go back and tell Dad we gotta go see The Matrix again. That movie was boss. I don't know if I've ever met anybody who's actually seen The Matrix and like, hey, that movie sucks. I mean, real talk. You can watch Star Wars with someone and they'll sit there and be like, hey, dude, this movie's trash. Someone else will be there and be like, I love it, Star Wars. And another person's like, this movie is garbage. But you sit there and you watch the first Matrix with someone and it's like, hey, that's... I don't know, he did just kind of fly away at the end, but man, that's a pretty cool movie, huh? Right? So, these are the things that I gotta think about when I'm thinking about all the Matrixes. Because when this Matrix 4 comes out, I'm gonna call it right now, I don't think it's gonna be that great. I don't know that they're gonna be able... I think that they're gonna be so infatuated with trying to be more heady that I don't know. I just don't think... I don't know. I got a really bad feeling about it. I mean, with these Star Wars movies, dude, they kind of... And don't even get me started on that damn Marvel Endgame. That was the biggest letdown in history. That was a piece of trash. So I don't even really watch movies anymore, but we'll see. We'll see if The Matrix is as bad as I think it is going to be. Usually I'm happy when I'm wrong. I love being wrong. But The Matrix, guys, passionate about The Matrix. I can talk all day about how Agent Smith, man, he whooped... How many times did Agent Smith whoop Neo's ass? Come on, really, dude. He's sitting there pumping shells into Neo. Killing him. No doubt. Right, maybe when they make a movie with a cliffhanger, they don't make it anymore. AB's talking about movies with cliffhangers here. We're kind of getting off track again in The Matrix, but that makes me think of, what's that one? The Airbender? I didn't even watch the cartoon of The Airbender. And I didn't see that movie in theaters. But I saw it on Sci-Fi or something. It was just on. I was like, hey, is that the guy that plays Kylo Ren? God, that guy sucks in the new Star Wars movies. But then I was like, hey, what is this? I'm like, oh. Alright, well, let's watch this. I ended up watching it. I'm like, yeah, that was okay. Where's the next movies? Apparently they didn't make any. Apparently no one liked that movie. I was like, yeah, I mean, it wasn't great, but was it really that bad? But maybe it was. I don't know. Standard plot. It is. It is standard plot, dude. They level in the heroine. But that's also, again, why I'm saying that at the end of the Matrix trilogy, it's not Neo. Like, Neo is already jacked in. Neo dies, Neo gets killed, Neo becomes an Agent Smith, and then Agent Smith goes into the system. And voila, they can reboot. But it allowed Neo to not be the hero. Agent Smith was always the hero. And how do I know that Trinity didn't have the hots for Agent Smith? I mean, really, it's none of my business who Trinity likes and doesn't like. She made it my business by saying that she's supposed to have the hots for the one, but she's only saying that because the Oracle told her that. Now, the Oracle being the manipulative mind trickster she is it possible that the Oracle told Trinity that she would fall in love with the one, and in doing so, knew that Trinity would then do the steps thinking that she was in love with this guy, thinking that this guy was the one, and then because she
felt that she was in love with this guy, that he was the one, because the Oracle told me that all this was going to happen, so it must be true, and it must be true love that allowed her to do all these things. Would that have even happened had the Oracle not fed her a line of bullshit that you're going to fall in love with the one? Right? Would she have even given a shit? She probably would have been over there sucking off Cypher. Pardon my French. But she had this weird, like, well, if Neo's the one, the Oracle just told me that I'm supposed to be sucking off the one. Pardon my French. And as we know, Trinity didn't suck off no one till the second movie, and then they got that orgy and everyone's sucking off everyone. But moving on from sucking on, that's our little show for The Matrix, guys. That's what we got. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about Mega Man. We're going to be talking about old school Mega Man. That's Mega Man 1 through 11. We're not talking about Mega Man X. We're not talking about Mega Man 0. Well, actually, you know what? Let's just consolidate. Let's just consolidate it. We're going to just talk about Mega Man. We're going to just talk about Mega Man in general tomorrow. Episode 2, we're going to talk about some damn Mega Man. Guys, I'm going to close this up. I'm going to shut down the stream, and then I'm actually going to be streaming a little bit later on tonight. We're going to be placing more of that Fell Seal. But I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll actually see you guys tonight. But for the podcast, Season 1, Episode 2, tomorrow, we're talking about Mega Man. So be here. I'll print out a bunch of stuff about Mega Man. Looks like we're going to go through, we got a bunch of the original complete works over here of Mega Man. So we've got a bunch of books to go through. And we'll be doing that. So thanks for joining us. That was Season 1, Episode 1, The Matrix. And I will see you guys later.